Dave, a point on the road here, but should it have been more based on that second half performance?
Yeah, disappointed with the result and disappointed with aspects of our performance, but also really pleased with aspects of our performance. I suppose from the 2 games that we've had, it shows as you move up levels the importance of your quality and your care in the final third. Because in both games really we should have taken more than what we have. So I thought we started the game well. You have to get questions answered. They were aggressive and came against us. We need to make better decisions. I thought in the second half we made much better decisions. I felt that, I said to the players, I thought that we were in control of the game. Forget what goes on outside of us. If we sorted our decision making out and our quality, then we were in control of the game, and that was certainly the case in the second half. Like I said, the disappointing bit is that in that final third, we've not found either the precision of our quality or the amount of quality put in there that would lead to more opportunities and their goalkeeper making more saves.
Again, as you say, in terms of possession, territory, the chances that you created, it feels like you're 80-90% of the way there at the minute. It's just that last little bit maybe missing.
Yeah, that's not the most important bit in football, and we know that. So, yeah, there are really good bits, and there's really good bits of play to get us into those areas. But then individuals have to take responsibility around putting the ball in the right areas and making the right decision at the right time in and around the penalty area. Whether that results in a cross into an area they have to defend, or a shot, we've got to have more care. Because, like I say, if we can get that bit right, then all of a sudden we could be stood here with, we'll certainly be stood here with extra points than we've currently picked up over the previous 2 games and over the first half of the season. But as I've said, they're the bits we need to work at. If we were playing poorly and creating nothing, maybe there'd be more concern. We're playing good bits and good parts of a game, and I suppose creating moments and situations. What we're not doing is converting those situations into goal scoring opportunities and goal scoring efforts, or really good ones. I think we've had, I don't know, maybe 15 attempts on goal or something today. Probably only a quarter of them on target. And we ideally need to make teams defend more, but ideally not be able to defend because we make the right decision and get more attempts on goal. Whether that's around us looking at things and being more instinctive than when opportunities are there to swing the leg out to get a shot rather than being really careful. Excuse me, we'll need to look at. But you don't get time to look at it at the moment. It's a case of rinse and repeat, recover and look forward to Birmingham.
You started the game brilliantly, scored a brilliant goal. The equaliser then obviously sets you back. Question marks over whether it should have been a corner in the first place, but taking that out of account, I guess there's still disappointment at how the corner was defended.
Yeah, definitely. Again, that's what I say about us being in control. Regardless of what decisions referee gives, you can't really affect them. So if there's a corner being given, then you have to defend that corner. We then, again, on the pitch, make a decision to move Louis from the area that he should be. And if that's not the case, then they don't get the shot away from the edge of the box. There's then, I suppose, decisions around coming out, which we do, and picking up. And I suppose from a defender's perspective, although the lad who scores is not offside, there's 2 players stood in the width of our goal in our 6-yard box that are offside, and again, it's not I suppose a rule that benefits defensive teams or teams that want to defend, because how they can't be interfering with what's going on in front of us is mind-boggling. But yeah, that's the way the rules are written. Like I say, we could control all of their things, all those things in my eyes. I thought we did that much better in the second half.
I've got to ask about the referee. I know you don't like to lay the blame on officials for poor results, but there did seem to be a period in the first half particularly where he just lost control a little bit, some strange decisions for both teams.
I just think there's things around inconsistencies, and it's not so much inconsistency. Sometimes it's inconsistencies within games, don't get me wrong, but there's inconsistencies between how this game's refereed and how games previously have been refereed. again, there's some things that go on that I'm all right with. You referees will referee games in a certain way, and I get that it's subjective. But games can't look completely different depending on who's refereeing the game, and they'll talk about the bar in terms of what are fouls, what aren't fouls, what decisions are given, what aren't given. We had it the other day with what's deemed a stoppage and adds time on and what doesn't. There's so many inconsistencies across the game, and that can't be right. The game can't be different here today as it will be at 3 o'clock at Exeter or somewhere. The games have to be the same, have to look the same, because we have to be competing at a different level, not based on which group of officials turn up and I suppose officiate the game based on what they want to do. That's the biggest gripe, because I've no idea what happens today happens again on Wednesday or happens again next week. So you're going into, I suppose, every game a little bit in the unknown. What's going to be given for a penalty? Because I've seen us have a penalty given against us at Stevenage where there's similar moments happened today that's not been given. I've seen players of ours being booked for winning the ball and following into a player, yet it can be deemed that their goalkeeper won the ball, hit him, but then he's wiped Tanto out, and again, as a consequence of him potentially coming off the pitch. So it's more that than anything else. Like I've said, I've always deemed to the point that if the referee isn't making decisions that ultimately decide the outcome of the game, you're probably in a good place. But just to get that consistency across thing, I think is really important for the game moving football. And that's not just us, that's across the whole league and the whole leagues above and below us, because I think everyone would have the same opinion.
I've got to ask you about your midfield too today. Obviously a couple of absentees. You've gone with Ollie Norwood and Odin Bailey, and to their credit, they really played a big part in you taking control in that second half.
Yeah, and we thought that would be important. It would have been easy to go in there with, I suppose, defensive players. You know what you have to deal with when you come here. They don't hide behind that. They attack with 4 and get it forward, and defend with 6. And often the middle of the pitch is open. I thought, like I say, first off we got it slightly wrong because they pressed against us, which mean that we probably needed to get it into the spaces between their midfield 2 and their back line, which we didn't do regularly enough. When we did it, we looked really good. But second half, we got more control because we were more positive with the ball. So we had wide centre backs stepping in and making overloads, which then opened up the middle of the pitch. We didn't do that well enough in the first half. When that happens, you've then got 2 ball players that can control the game from a central area, which is what we wanted to happen from the first part of the game. It's always going to be more difficult because teams have more energy at the start of the game, but as the game went on, we stamped our authority on that in there. Just a pity that, like I say, the control that we did have didn't result in us getting 3 points.
A couple of players missing today. You lost a couple of more in the game as well. We'll start with Lewis Bate and Callum Camps. How are they?
Yeah, Beatty again certainly won't be back in the short term. We're going to be initial diagnosis is going to be sort of 3 or 4 weeks. Campsey was ill. He was ill before Christmas, and then after the game at Huddersfield, again has got a bug which lots of people have got at the moment. So hopefully he's maybe done a session today if he's feeling better, and will be or can be involved against Birmingham. But Lewis, again, like I say, he's going to be out for a short, not a ridiculous long time, but a significant time.
Tanto and Fraser?
Tanto looks sort of hamstring groiny. Again, more of an awareness than anything else. We'll have to see how he is. But again, with the quick turnaround, doesn't look great. Fraser's obviously looks a bad one. Lateral ankle, and I'd suggest that's going to be. I'll speculate, but I'd suggest that's going to be months rather than weeks, based on what it looked like and what his current situation is. And then similarly, we brought off to bring Louis off, feeling a slight hamstring. But fingers crossed we've got him off before that's developed into anything. Again, we're at the part of the season that it is tough with the turnaround of games. We've gone into these first 2, I suppose, trying to protect, and this is the reason why we're trying to protect, because all of a sudden we've gone from having a fully fit squad to losing 5 or 6 in a blink of an eye. So that will test us, it will challenge us, but we've been there before, and quick turnaround, recover, and look forward to what's a massive game for us on New Year's Day against the best team in the league by a long way. So you can't get a better challenge than that.
There's never a good time to pick up injuries, and obviously all hope for the best for them, but with the January transfer window coming up as well, does that allow you to potentially be reactive if any of those are long term?
I don't know. I would I would probably suggest not. More to the fact that for us this window was going to be around if we needed to trade and players were going to come in, then as a consequence players would go out. The squad was sort of too big, if you like. Obviously we need to get judgments on where people are going to be at injury wise and try and cover that. We don't have anyone really that's Campsey should be fine. Hopefully he's only an illness. We don't have anyone really coming back from injuries for certainly the next month. So we just got to see where we are with bodies. Nothing's going to change between now and New Year's Day. But beyond that, let's see. I think the way I'd look at it is probably once the 2 games over New Year, Birmingham, Mansfield are potentially out of the way or done with. You then have a 8-day stretch into the FA Cup tie at Crystal Palace, and then another 6 days after that. I would hope that by the time that comes, which I think will be the 19th, then I'll have been able to assess where we're at. And if we've needed to get some bodies in, we'd have hoped that in this window that we could have flipped things around to potentially get some players out to play some football, to get them closer to making an impact in our first team, if you like. There may be an opportunity for them to make an impact without that happening. We just got to see where we are with numbers.
And just finally on that game on New Year's Day, Birmingham, I think many feel are in a league of their own this season, but you must take great encouragement from that second half display at St Andrews a few weeks back, taking them back to a sell-out Edgeley Park. Yeah,
definitely. And again, the only shame from our perspective is we went, or we were looking at that game with a plan of how we might go about things. That's been we'll have to slightly change now around personnel. Fingers crossed we can be as strong as we want and go into the game looking to put in a performance that gives us a good chance of, like I say, beating what are undoubtedly the champions elect. So we know it'll be tough, but with every every challenge has opportunities for others to step in and do a job. The place will be bouncing, and we've got to hope that we can perform to a level that gives us a chance of winning.
Appreciate your time, Dave. Have a great New Year.
Cheers, thank you.